everybody, or good afternoon, depending on what time I see you. You are turning in Wildcat Sheet 6 for our sub to pick up, and you need to have your financial literacy packet out. All right, here is our warm-up. Riley received financial assistance to pay for his college education. After he graduates, he will have to pay back the amount of money he received plus any interest that accrues after graduation. What kind of financial assistance did Riley receive? Well, the only one of those answer choices that he does not, or that he does have to pay back, would be a student loan. So if he has to pay it back, it's a student loan. All right. Today, we are going to learn to balance an account. I can define, withdraw, and deposit. And our future ready skills are to communicate and collaborate. So our vocabulary for today, the first one is deposit. Deposit is money put into an account. They can come from the form of cash, checks, or transfers. So if I go to the bank and I deposit a check or I deposit cash, I'm putting that money into my account. A withdrawal occurs when money is taken out of an account, usually from a check, online payment, or ATM. So when you're withdrawing money, you're taking it out of your account. A debit, now this isn't debit versus credit. This is debit when we're using the debit card is what it's called. And so it's money taken out of the account through the use of a debit card. Remember, debit card, every time you swipe it, money is automatically withdrawn. Well, that's called a debit. Transfer occurs when money is moved from one account to another. So if I had a checking account and a savings account, I could transfer money from my checking into my savings. So I'm adding that money from checking into savings. So you're not really losing the money, it's just going between accounts. And a transaction is any movement of money in an account. So a deposit, although it's positive, is still a transaction because it's movement of the money. Withdrawal is taking money out, okay? So here's our first practice problem. A portion of Raul's check register is shown. His checking account had a balance of $539.50 on April 2nd. So I can see in the check register, we have 5 columns. The first column is the date. That's super important because a lot of questions they will ask you is about the date. Then it tells you a little description about what was the money used for. Then there we have a column for deposit, withdrawal, and balance. And so currently we have a balance of $539.50. Then I can see on the next row on April 2nd, I have a gas debit card transaction, and that's a withdrawal because the money's coming out. Anytime something's coming out, I put it in the withdrawal column. And that was for $35.50. And then on April 6th, I bought a shirt. And when you buy something that's money coming out of your account, that was $23.75. So it went in the withdrawal column. And on April 13th, I got a check from my mom. And so that was deposited into my account. So that's a positive. So it goes in the deposit. And based on this information in the check register, what was the balance of Raul's checking account after the transaction on April 13th in dollars and cents? So I take my starting balance, which was $539.50, and I'm going to subtract anything that was in the withdrawal column and add anything that was in the deposit. So we'll start with our first withdrawal, which was for gas for $35.50. Well, when I subtract, 50 minus 50 gets me 0. 9 minus 5, I get 4. 3 minus 3 is 0. And 5 minus nothing is 5. So after I buy gas, I have a balance of $504. So the next thing that happened was a withdrawal. So again, I'm going to subtract because when you withdraw, you subtract. I can't take 5 away from 0, so I have to borrow all the way over to the 4. But when I eventually borrow and subtract, I have a balance of $480.25. So now I have taken out my 2 withdrawals. And the next thing I had was a deposit. Now, deposit means I'm adding. So I'm going to add the $55 I got from my mom. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 0 is 2. 5 plus 0 is 5. 8 plus 5 is 13. Put down the 3, carry the 1. And our ending balance was $535.25. Okay? So whenever you're balancing a check register, all you're doing is taking your starting balance, you're subtracting any withdrawals, and adding any deposits. Our next practice problem, it says before Nina bought groceries on April 22nd, she had a balance of $487.25 in her checking account. Nina wrote her transactions in the check register. She included all her transactions through the end of the day on April 23rd. So in the check register, I can see that I have a starting balance of $487.25. That's in the balance column. And then I can see on April 22nd, I bought groceries, which was a withdrawal. I'm taking that money out, and those cost $72.50. And then on April 23rd, I had a cash deposit, and it went in the deposit column for $15. Based on the transactions in Nina's check register, what is the balance in dollars and cents in her checking account at the end of the day on April 23rd? Okay, I'm balancing my check register. We take our starting balance of $487.25. I'm going to subtract my withdrawal of $72.50. 5 minus 0 is 5. I can't take 5 away from 2, so I'm going to borrow. The 7 becomes a 6. The 2 becomes 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. 6 minus 2 is 4. 8 minus 7 is 1. And 4 minus nothing is 4. So after that withdrawal for the groceries, I'm left with $414.75. Now I need to add any of my deposits. So I'm going to add the $15 to that. 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 0 is 7. 4 plus 5 is 9. 1 plus 1 is 2. And I still have a 4. So my ending balance was $429.75. Our last practice problem we have, it says the check register shows the transactions in Mrs. Garcia's new checking account she opened on October 3rd. So here we have 6 columns. We have the date, the description, deposits, withdrawals, but we also have a transfer column. So although transfer means you're not losing the money, right? Because I'm just transferring it to a different account, it is moving out of the current account. So we will subtract transfers. So you're going to subtract both withdrawals and transfers. So in our check register, I can see on October 3rd, I transferred money to my savings account. And so, I transferred it from the savings account. So I'm moving it into the checking. So you have to be careful if you're transferring from or to. If it's transfers to, you're going to subtract. If in this case, like it is, it's transfers from, I'm going to add. And then I have a paycheck, and then I had a couple of withdrawals. So let's go ahead and figure out our balance as of October 11th. So our starting balance, which we transferred in from savings. Now, because I'm transferring from, it's positive. If I was transferring to, it would be negative, of $1,100. And then I have a deposit of $2,500. So I'm going to add those together for $3,600. Then I made a withdrawal for the dentist, which was $225. So I subtract $225. And I now have a balance of $3,375. I again wrote a check for the phone bill, so that was a withdrawal, subtracting $70. So I have $305 left. Then I made a mortgage payment of $990, which was a withdrawal, so I subtract that. And I'm left with $2,315. And then I had an ATM withdrawal, so I took out cash of $220. And so after I subtract that, we are left with a balance of $2,000.95. All right. Now you have some independent practice on balancing a checkbook. This is homework if you do not finish. And please remember, you will have your financial literacy quiz, which is a minor grade, on Tuesday. All right. Good luck, everybody. Please email me if you have any questions.